What is going on, everybody? Happy New Comic Book Day Eve. Well, there is no more Miss Marvel, but what's going on, everybody? Rejuvenated. Hair is a mess. Barber is out of town, so don't judge. But yeah, we got a fun show today. Co-hosted with my guy, Mr. Rocksteady Collectibles, Mr. Greg. He'll be joining us shortly. He just had to reset his computer. He's basically like the new Hyper, because Hyper's always late. Rocksteady's like always on time, but then he's got to reset his computer. So he's kind of like the new Hyper, like Hyper 2.0, I guess. But what's going on, everybody? Hope you didn't miss the show on Monday. I didn't cry, so that was good. Great surprises there. So make sure you guys go check out the rewind, because that was dope of what Rocksteady did. So I appreciate it. This is technically, I guess, show 200. I don't expect special appearances today, but hey, we can be hopeful, right? So yeah, we're gonna be talking about 10 books that well, frankly, we're sleeping on. These books all have something in common. They're characters that are gonna come back, and like 90% of us are bashing the book. Not necessarily bashing in a bad way, just we're not thinking ahead, right? Everybody's talking, oh, recession. Well, guess what? Just like anything, real estate, gold, whatever, when there is a recession, when the market is down, that's when the rich get richer, because they just keep buying it because they know one day it's going to go up. Same with comics, right? So you notice that some people are just selling these books really cheap. But here's the thing. All these characters that we're going to be talking about today, one, they're all Marvel. So if you're a DC fan, apologize. But the one thing that we will be, the common thread here is all these characters are coming back, which means like any character, because let's be honest, if Arthur Harrow, if Frogman, if all these characters that barely make a scratch on movies or shows can get up to crazy amounts, you better believe that these big name characters are going to make a splash. So without further ado, let's bring in Rocksteady, because I think he's here. Guys, introducing Mr. Rocksteady. What's going on? Jeez.
I know difficulties. I'll get it dealt with this week. I promise.
Promise. Well, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Can't complain. Drinking a Bud Light. Barber's out of town, so I'm a mess. But other than that, doing pretty good.
You're starting to look like your avatar. Maybe a little full beard.
You know what's funny is I had a full beard, and then I trimmed it all the way down for my job interview that I had not too long ago. So it's pretty good. But
enough beard talk.
But Rocksteady, I gotta tell you something, because this is show 200 episodes in, and no one is professional yet.
Yeah,
it's true, right?
And still no one can count except Justin.
Jeez. Yeah, and Justin's the only one that can count. Side note, big shout out to Justin, Mr. Nemesis Prime, because I got first of all, the guy throws a great whatnot show. If you're ever looking for anything, it's not just Star Wars, but the guy does a lot of giveaways. I was lucky enough to win one, and he threw me a Comic-Con podcast t-shirt in white, in blue. I guess he knows I'm from Uruguay. Those are the colors. So I'm going to be rocking this at Terrificon. So big shout outs to Justin. Got my size right as well. Great material. So guys, if you're looking for a sweet t-shirt, hit him up. I don't know what the price is, but hit him up. Really great t-shirts.
Him and Otto. Otto has that thing going on for Terrificon too.
Yeah, and Otto's got the 3 Men in the Basement. Yeah, I love that shirt. I love the blue, and I love the Fantastic Four 3 logo thing that they got going. So yeah, it's pretty good. All right. I know it's episode technically 200, but it was 100 for New Comic Book Day. Are we having any special guests? Just so I know, just so I can get my emotions, my adrenaline going.
It was a lot of work. It's not happening anymore. Maybe at $3.99.
All right, we could do that. Also, before we get started, I do want to say, one, I can't thank everybody enough, but two, Chad, Kid Collector, Brian, you guys gave me super chats through the show, and I super apologize that I didn't, give you guys some love or anything like that. So thank you for the super chats. I rewatched the show and I just felt bad. It's been weighing on me since Sunday that I didn't give you guys props for the super chats, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Before we get started, let's say hello to the chat and let's get going because we got 10 books to talk about and I can't wait. 2 of them, I'm like, The first one, definitely, But you know what? You're probably going to like what we're talking about today, Rocksteady, because all these characters, like you said, are all coming back, right? He's frozen. Great. All right, well, let's say hello to the chat before, and maybe Rocksteady can get back with us. Dan Delatorre taking home the gold. Mr. Michael Baker with the silver. Mr. Comic Dude, okay, fine. I guess I'll take bronze. What's up, newbie? Just wanted to say congratulations on reaching 100. Thank you, but this is the 200 show, so thank you twice, I guess. Mr. Patrick is in the house. What's going on? Mr. Anthony Vidal. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Mr. Michael Baker's in the house. Mr. Uncanny X Dan Hernani. What's going on? Mr. Rush. Philly Born. What is up, newbie and chat? Not much, man. Thanks for tuning in. Mr. Patrick, episode 101 on the way to 200. Technically, this is 200, right? Like 100 Sundays, 100 Tuesdays. But like the Sunday show is like the one, right? But I appreciate it, Patrick. All right, third time's a charm.
I might have to call in some backup.
Oh, geez. All right. Okay. Mr. Bleeker Street, way to go on your 200th episode, newbie. Thank you so much. Wait, we already at 200? We jump in like Amazing Fantasy issue. Yeah. So 100 episodes of New Comic Book Day were Sunday, and then technically this is like 200 episodes overall. So I kind of planned that pretty well. Mr. Kenneth is in the house. What's going on? Dan Delatorre again. RP's in the house. Mr. Nemesis Prime. You guys already know. Ultra. My mother told me I can be anything, so I became a disappointment. Jesus. Ultraman. Much love, brother. Roger's internet again.
100%.
What's up, Brandon? How you doing, man? Anthony, Street Side. Anthony, I want to ask, are you going to Terrificon? I would love to get a picture. Right here for backup. Fingers crossed. Rocksteady's internet crashes. Oh, man. If I knew. Justin's going to be making I think I'm going to ask him to hop on the next couple episodes then. Wait, Rocksteady's internet again. I will see you there Friday. All right, I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Damn it, Rocksteady. All right, well, I guess we're going to start the show. Justin, if you want to hop on, you let me know. I'll send you the link because it looks like Mr. Bleeker or Mr. Rocksteady is frozen, and I can't talk about myself. All right, let's get it going. I don't have anybody to talk to. I was going to say, you ready? But I'm just talking to myself. So let's get it going. Let's start the show. Hopefully, Rocksteady, comes up. I know it says keys that we just are sleeping on. This one I guess I made it before I actually made the thumbnail, but why do we forget about these keys? I think it's a better idea. Why are we sleeping on these keys? It's great. Rocksteady, 4 times the charm.
I don't know all that. I've called Horseman.
You called a horseman? That's what I heard. I heard he called a horseman. Now he's just playing with me. I feel like he is literally just freezing on purpose now. All right, well, let's start the show, guys. We got 9 books, that we'll be talking about today. And basically, we're sleeping on these keys. Like I said at the beginning, right off the top, these are books that all these characters are showing up, and they're really low comparative to where they were when the spike happened. Spike meaning when these characters were about to show. So whether it be a show, trailer, movie, whatever the case may be, this is where the prices are now compared to then. So let's start the show. Rocksteady, one more time. Are you here? I guess not. Damn. All right. Well, hey, he's going to come back. I think he said he had reinforcements. I don't know. Hopefully. All right. Well, let's start the show, guys. First book on the list. We're going with Eternals #1. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Noob, this book sucks. The movie was shit. The movie was garbage. Slow down. Let's think for a minute. They're coming back. They have to. They can't just end Eternals 1 like that and then come back. A lot of people want to reboot. That's not going to happen. They got too much money invested in it. Plus, we already have a story of what they're doing with this Celestials, Star Fox, the fact that Cersei is I can't remember who the other two are. Cersei and the other two are kind of just, kidnapped from the world. So basically, they're going to come back. There's no way that second movie is probably, going to be the end of that. So it's probably going to be a 2 to 3 picture thing. Keep in mind, Black Knight is attached to this, and he's signed on for 4 projects, right? So it only makes sense that the Eternals are around a bit longer. Now, let's go to the money side of this, the flip side of this, the how can we make some money? Because don't forget, guys, at the height of this, 9.8s were selling for $4,200. Yes, newsstand, but nevertheless, the direct issues were still selling for about $3,400. That's crazy for the fact that like years before it, you could get a 9.8 for like $200, right? So smart money was if you bought at least one 9.8, you'd be fine. Now, let's look at what 9.8s are going for right now. Still $1,000, but let's be real. Most of the people that bought in were probably buying around 600 or 700. So the reality is they didn't make a lot of money on the flip, where now you could probably get this book very cheap. Second movie, cameos, who knows where the rest of these characters are going to be dropped or where they could come in, right? Guardians of the Galaxy, really good one. Obviously, no one stopped by in Thor, but you got Guardians of the Galaxy. There's possibilities elsewhere, right? So I wouldn't sleep on Eternals. Number one, it is a good move. It is a good book to have. Jack Kirby too, so why not? I've always been on the record of saying the only thing that hurts this book or this series or this team is the fact that it's all over the place. So not all of them have their first appearance in book 1, right? Cersei is book 3, and then there's like 7, 9, and I think 11 that there's some first appearances. I can't remember off the top of my head, but those are the 2 big ones, right? It's clear that Cersei is going to be the head honcho and the one that, kind of takes them to the next direction, because that dude that got jealous basically died. So, meh. Cersei first app is issue number 3. The comic is great, much better than the movie. Absolutely, Bleeker. Absolutely. I've picked up a few issue 3. Issue 3, Tony, is actually a pretty good buy-in right now as well. It's really good. Newbie, would you recommend Strange Tales 109, first appearance of Cersei? Is that Sir? I don't know. I don't know who that is. I'd have to do my research. Brian, 9.6 and an 8 raw for 250 for Eternals. CGC 9.6 and an 8. Brian, what do you mean an 8? You got issue 8? Seeing Icarus makes me want Cyclops. I see potential in that CGI. Actually, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's what his name was, Icarus. Brandon, I'm not a fan of Cyclops though. Cersei? You're talking Cersei issue 3. Cersei like spelled like this, Sersi. I think that's what he means. I don't know. If it's not that one, then I don't know. I don't know who that is, Dan. Speaking of, and let's stay on the same terms as like Eternals, right? But the next book, guys, is Avengers 48. I have one. I've decided to kind of keep it. There's no point right now. Rocksteady. Sorry, everyone trying to get a story. No problem, man. Hurry the hell up. I can't talk forever. I've decided to keep it, and here's why. First appearance of Black Knight, we all know that. Dane Whitman as Black Knight, right? Because he's like the third one that kind of takes that mantle. But it's clear, obviously, he's going to be the one to ride the horse. Get what I did there? Eternals movie's coming. 4 more projects. Now, here's the thing. A 7.0, when the trailer was dropping, second trailer dropping, reached $1,600 Canadian. $1,600 Canadian for a 7.0. Currently, a CGC 7.0 is selling for $780 Canadian. Why do I know this? I just told you. I have a 7.0 myself. Been tracking it for a while. It makes no sense for you to sell it right now. Here's why. A lot of people will be selling this. A lot of people have sold this. I've gone to a few shows. I've gone to a few places, and people literally have like 4 to maybe 10 of them just lined up from various grades selling. Guess what? The book's going to go back up. We didn't see him as Black Knight. We didn't see him in costume. We didn't see him on the horse. We didn't really see him do anything. What do you think is going to happen when he is in that costume? And yes, I'm clapping because I can't believe people think this is a joke. People are literally telling me, Noob, you're an idiot. Why wouldn't you try to sell it now? This is why. Because this is literally going to be a $1,500 book in the grade that it's in. I guarantee you. He's signed on for 4 projects. The next time we see him, he's literally going to have the sword. He's literally going to be kicking ass. Once he's in the costume, it's game over. I also think that he's going to win people over. Again, I go back to that Aquaman and like my mom and my aunts going to watch Aquaman, not knowing that that was like comic related. Same thing. A lot of people who grew up, watching Game of Thrones are going to just go to this just simply because this guy's in it. I had to remind a few older people who watch Game of Thrones that Kit Harington was actually in the Eternals movie because they didn't believe me. Once I told them that, they went to go see it. So just imagine when he's the focal point, he's on trailers, he's in toys, he's this, he's that. People are going to go nuts. It's going to be a popular character. I just kind of got a good vibe about this one, and I wouldn't be opposed to buying another one in a really good price, maybe 5.0, 6.0, because they're really going for a really good penny right now. A graded 8, but it's raw. Both were issue 1. Okay, I get it. Talk about a noise diva on these. Bye. I hope he's not trying to sing in sync there. I have a low grade of this and would drop more money down on this Avengers. Yeah, I think it's a smart play. I really do. Tony's Serki is a blonde variant of Cersei that appeared before the Eternals version appeared. Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Smart. It could be a smart play. Depend on where they go. It's just I feel like they kind of have to go backwards with the Eternals because I think movie 2 they got to really get us to like them again because it kind of the hype was there and then the movie just kind of boom. So, Manny, newbie, congrats on hitting 100 episodes. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Black Knight is being set up to be the next Captain America of the Avengers. But Captain America, really? I mean, maybe he could be the Iron Man. Here's how I see it. And I've had this conversation with a few people. Oh, shit. What's going on?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Not much, man. Oh, okay. Reinforcements are here.
Yeah, I just got the call from the majors. Rocksteady shot me the message. He said, we're pulling you from the minor league, throw you in the big leagues now." So.
Oh, geez, yeah. Well, dude. Honestly, thank you. I know you only go on his show, so I appreciate it, man.
You're going to talk Marvel books tonight, man? I don't know shit, but no.
Fuck. Here we go. There's zero Star Wars books on this list, man. But thank you so much, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, I'm literally just packing up some stuff to go to CGC. So.
Oh, nice. No, you're not watching the baseball game, All-Star game?
No, man, I don't care for the All-Star game. It's beginning of the season, end of the season, the only thing that matters. So, watched a little bit of the home run derby last night, and we're good.
Juan Soto. All right, man. Well, hey, listen, I did enough talking. What do you think about this book? I saw your comment. Buy. I guess you're a believer in the book.
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah, this book, it hit a little bit when the movie came out. You knew who he was going to play, and obviously the end credit scenes, but. Of course, he's not in costume. There's nothing going on. Now's the time to definitely buy an Avengers 48 for real. Like, he's going to be in more movies, whether it's something to do with Blade, something to do with, people respecting, you respecting Captain Britain, MI13. Like, there's a lot of things he could show up in.
As soon as he's in costume, man, I guarantee this thing goes bonkers. Now, I just want to add to that comment that Tony said. Black Knight is being set up as the next Captain America of the Avengers. I could see it, but I can also see Nova and Black Knight kind of being those two guys. What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. I'm hoping they do more of like that all new, all different Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So like Falcon, eventually Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel will be in there. I really thought Jane Foster was going to stick around longer and would have been an interesting team. Yeah, we're past this. We're 3 weeks in. Vision, maybe White Vision comes back. Who knows?
Well, it's funny that you say that because there's one book that if I've been in love with, but the price has got to be right. It's West Coast Avengers 45, man.
And I don't even know your list.
Yeah. So WandaVision, I always give it respect because it is the OG. It is the first show that we ever had. It was new. Nobody could expect what it was week to week. If you go back, I think, speculators, flippers, book, just everything. Everything was on the table because we didn't know how it was going to pan out.
Mhm.
Now, fast forward a year and a half, people just forget about this book. People forget that this book was more expensive than first appearance 9.8 of Deadpool. And I remember freaking out. But this thing hit $2,800 Canadian, passing the Deadpool book. Currently in a 9.8 is $600. It's lost steam. It's lost $2,200 Canadian. Say what you will. I get it. He's not a main character, and I haven't heard anybody say White Vision is their favorite character. I've never seen anybody dress up as White Vision. It could change at Terrificon. I don't know. But this is a huge drop because, Justin, I don't know about you, but I believe that when a book hits a certain peak, it could come close to it second time around. I really do believe that. What are your thoughts?
So I think the problem is when a lot of these books hit last year, right? A lot of people had money, the comic correction, the prices were skyrocketing. So I think definitely phase 4 needs to wrap up a lot of stuff. And, I recently saw this article that said, there's a lot of open-ended stuff that's going on with phase 4. And he's one of them, White Vision. Where is he going to show up? What's he going to do? Of course, they got the confirmed. Here's a good idea. They got the confirmed Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah.
What if he shows up as a Thunderbolt member?
It's true. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing too, though. I've kind of leaned more towards like the comic. So I've kind of leaned more towards him kind of leading the West Coast Avengers. Like I could totally see that happening. However, I've had conversations with Swag. I had conversations with, a few people in the community. I don't think that they would use the word Avengers again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they would like touch on that because it's so like, I guess, iconic for us now, right? Who grew up with that. I just don't see it. So maybe they could have like another nickname for it. I don't know. But I could see them kind of going west with, hints in Hawkeye being dropped, right? With Moira, I forget her name, West Coast Avengers 100. There was just a lot of tie-ins and Easter eggs to West Coast Avengers.
Well, he's also got your boy Wonder Man.
Oh, fucking Christ.
He could be coming out with that too. You never know.
Yeah.
Show up in that show.
Yeah.
Saying.
Look, I'll believe in Wonder Man if at Terrificon there's somebody dressed up as Wonder Man. Like if somebody
Challenge
dresses up as Wonder Man, I will take a picture with you. I'll go buy another Wonder Man. Like I'll believe it. I'll believe it. But I've yet to see this, so we'll see. Empire saying Young Avengers.
I want that team.
I want that team too. I just don't know if White Vision would probably lead that team. That's the only thing. So we'll see. Still, this is a good book. Only a 9.8 though. I would not touch this book in anything else. There's just way too many copies of it. And if the last kind of bump showed us anything, this thing can drop really quick. People are going to forget really quick. And to lose $2,200, a year and a half later, I think that says a lot about the future of the book. I'm going to continue to watch it kind of go down and possibly get one for about $300-400. That's my goal. So Moon Knight for West Coast Avengers. It could happen. It could happen. All right, Justin. Holy fuck. Okay, hold on. You guys know it's not like it's not like the 100th show again, right?
This is like your 200th episode right now. So big ups, newbie. Congrats.
What's up?
Hey,
man?
we're back again. What's up, Hyper?
Hey, what's up, Justin? Rocksteady was having a bit of internet issues, so he put up the back signal. So
Swag's gonna come in like golfing. Chris is gonna be, on the airplane to New Zealand. Is that what's gonna happen?
Now we're just off the rails, people.
Yeah. All right. Hype, you came at a good time.
did I?
Joaquin Torres, Sam Wilson, Captain America 3 and 5. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Justin, I'm really interested to hear your input because I know Hyper and I know kind of how he thinks. But issue 3, first appearance of Joaquin Torres. Issue 5, first appearance as Joaquin Torres as Falcon. So the character showing up versus the character who he becomes. The way the show ended, and spoiler, I guess, I feel like I have to say that, even though it's been like a year. The show ends, right, with him kind of taking the wings, him saying to Sam, what do you want me to do with these? Sam goes, keep them. And then he kind of smiles, puts the bag on, and then starts walking, right? So clear as day that this character is going to be around for a little bit, or at least the Easter eggs there. What are your thoughts? I own both of these, 9.8. The market kind of dictates that number 3 is the book, but again, he is Falcon in issue 5. So which one's the winner? And are we sleeping on this one?
So here's the thing. Do we really want to have another Captain America movie where there's a sidekick, right? Like, do you want to just keep making sidekicks, especially where Sam Wilson's now taking over? Like, I feel like that's the issue. That's the one problem is like the first one, you kind of had Bucky, and then, like Winter Soldier is not really a sidekick, but you really had someone there. And then Civil War, they were back together as like buddy sidekick. And that was the whole thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier, the show. It was a sidekick show, right? So this time around, maybe not Captain America 4. Maybe he could just show up. Maybe he could show up in an end credit scene with the costume on, but I don't know. I don't think I'd see him for a while if the actor stays.
Hi.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I was waiting for my turn. Yeah. Listen. Watching the whole Captain. Cap. Oh my gosh.
Sound it out. Are you drinking?
Words are fun. That Captain America show. So after watching that, he didn't really make much of an impression on the show to begin with. I mean, you saw him. It was almost like a tip of the hat, so to speak. It wasn't really like.
But do you think that's because they had like let's be real? That was like a magnitude shift in the fact that they were literally giving the symbol of America to an African American, right? Like, I know we get it in the comics, but like to actually see it, it's a little different. So like I get that was the focal point of the whole thing. So that's what I mean. Like that kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible in Captain America 4 that, Joaquin Torres may have a bigger footprint on the actual, whole series going forward. It's just that, I mean, put it this way, I wouldn't put all my eggs in this basket. It's just too early of a spec. Even though he did play somewhat of a role, like, kind of going hand to hand with the Flag Smashers during that series, that's pretty much the extent of it. There was no hint of him being like a future ally. It was more like he was just like an accessory in the show. Yeah, pretty much. So that's why it's almost like if you're down with the character and from the first place, it's one thing. But if you're looking at these books in terms of a potential upside, my recommendation, obviously, don't buy on the high in these books.
These are both very affordable right now too. At the height of the show, 9.8s, and shout out to the Pressable Defects, because they really kind of opened this can of worms, and a lot of people were like, really, you think they're going to go that way? But at the height of the show, number 3 was like almost $700. Number 5 was reaching about 5 to 6 as well. Now
that's insane.
They're both down to about 250, 280, where they should be for what the character is, right? It's not A, it's not B, it's not even C-list character. So I think it's in a right spot. But let's face it, a 9.8 is usually getting you 200 to 300 Canadian. That's just a game, right? Justin, I'm not sure what that is American. I think it's like 200 is probably like
$1.50. I don't know.
Yeah, 280.
A can of syrup.
A can of syrup. Yeah. All right. One of my favorite books on the list. And actually, I had something in me didn't even want to put this one on the list because I didn't want people to kind of like remember this book, but I really want to upgrade my copy that I have.
Newbies manipulating the market.
But here, Agatha, Fantastic Four, issue number 94. It's always a tongue twister when you have an issue number with number 4 for this, but first appearance of Agatha. Show is coming in 2024. It seems to be, and what rumors are saying, is going to be horror, magic, world, kind of upcoming. Me being a big Fantastic Four fan, we have to remember that she was actually Franklin Richards' nanny. The fact that Franklin Richards was kind of mentioned, I guess, in a way, in that other world, kind of leads to, suspect that maybe they kind of clash, but nevertheless, she's getting her own show, which means prices right now are just going to double. That's just what happens, right? With any show, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, it doesn't matter. They usually tend to double. Current raw prices anywhere between 80 and 250, but guys, 250 even raw. A 5.0 is selling for about $600, right? A 9.0 just sold for about 842, and I put that one up there because that one was actually the cheapest one that actually sold in that grade. But you can see right now, when no one's talking about this character, it's just under 1,000. That should be probably 1,500 when the character comes. I think she did a good job. We didn't really get to see her full power, I don't think, personally. It's going to be interesting where they pick up with the character, if she remembers what happened with Wanda or whatever. But Justin, this one's a good book. Nevertheless, you got a Fantastic Four issue under 100 as well, right? 2 digits, so still a good book.
Yeah, that's literally my first thing. It's a Fantastic Four under 100. It's what, like late 60s, early 70s. It's got to be, right? And that's like anything in the Marvel books. Anything under 100, you know, you're creeping in that early Silver Age stuff. So yeah, and the fact that it's a first appearance, there's definitely going to be a lot of people trying to find this book. And this is not a book that you can find in the wild. Like the Eternals we've seen, that's easily to, you know, more accessible. Obviously, the Joaquin Tour is accessible. This book, I mean, nobody really has this type of book. Usually the people that have this book are because they're completionists trying to complete the run. You know, I've never really gone into stores where I've seen issues under 100. And if you did, it's up on the wall. But yeah, like people forgot about it, and we got 2 years to definitely pick it up. So if you can find it for a good price, go for it. I would think raws right now are probably your best bet, because then you could always try to either upgrade it, press it, send it in, CGC, slab it.
Before Hype gives us his 2 cents, I want to put this into context too. It's interesting that everybody has, you know, we know that the horror world, like they're trying to do fantasy and the knights and magic and horror and all this. It seems as Agatha's show is probably going to be the one that kicks off the horror world, though, because if you think about it, if you actually look at like what Marvel plans to do from now till this show comes out, it's pretty much the one that's going to kick it off. And I'm actually surprised at that. So it could be one that people remember, could be a good one, but again, it's going to be dependent on where they pick up with the character, right? Hype, what do you think about the book?
All right, so just to kind of dovetail off Nemesis' point, yeah, this book, like, you know, let's just, you know, forget the MCU for a second. Like, you know, when I go to like certain shows and all that, like there's 3 series that people generally are looking into, like where, you know, people ask, do you have books of this series? It's ASM, X-Men, and Fantastic Four. Those are the 3 that generally people, you know, are looking into in terms of filling their back issue run. So for this issue, I think the ceiling already is not that low to begin with. Now, you know, when we look at the WandaVision show, you know, people came in, you know, the stars were obviously Wanda and Vision.
Spectrum.
But okay, I'm saying like the 2 main stars in the show were Wanda and Vision. But the breakout star in that show was Agatha Harkness. I don't think people really saw that coming until they actually saw the show progress. And, you know, from, you know, the reviews and, you know, people's critiques on the show, you know, there was a lot of criticism, but Agatha Harkness was one of those bright spots in WandaVision that people, you know, took out of it. And unlike the previous book that you showed, this one, we actually have a confirmation that there is an actual spin-off show featuring Agatha Harkness. So, you know, all that combined, this is a pretty much of a safe, it's a safe bet to begin with. Whether you're an FF fan, or whether you just want this book for your PC, or even just from a pure spec play, I think you can't go wrong. Like, obviously, like, you know, buy it according to, like, you know, what's a fair price. But basically, you're not going to be left holding the bag if you buy this book.
No. Yeah. I like it. It's always funny because I always talk about this, but my wife was actually watching Parks and Rec during the time that the show came out, and she's actually I love that show, by the way. One of my favorite shows. But there's a few episodes where Adam Scott's character has to, like, he's working for like the government or whatever at some point, and she's actually in it. And she's like this party, like drunk girl that like wants to go to boats. And I remember saying to my wife, I'm like, are you watching WandaVision? And like, I literally thought, because I had come home like one day where like I hadn't watched it in the morning, so I had to watch it at night. And I was like, it just was a mind fuck because I'm like, what is she doing on a boat and like drinking? Like it was just one of those things that I thought was so like weird, but nevertheless. All right, let's switch gears here. Daredevil 11, and I apologize, but Google didn't want to give me a great picture for this. Now, I've talked to Justin about this many times. I've talked to a few people in the chat about this book, about this character. And the one thing that really sticks out is the stupid Cupid shit. Like, it's not a really cool cover at all. But I will say this, and people will get mad and people will argue, but CGC is now labeling this first appearance of Maya Lopez as Echo. So that means they are saying that this is the first appearance. I get that people are still going to go after 9, but 11 does have to get its love. We do have to put it on the list. But this book, 9, 10, and 11 were all sought after when Echo show was going on. And, you know, wouldn't you know it, she's got her own show coming. So all 3 of these books are going to go up. Justin, you actually have my 9.8 at your house.
Yes, I do.
I know you have. So you have issue 9 and 10, right?
I have a few copies of 9, 10, and 11 that I need to send in to grading.
Nice.
Like soon. I just picked up I picked up a 10 like literally last week for like $35 US.
Personally, I like 10. 10
Yeah,
is my
10's good.
favorite one. Yeah. But where do you think, you know, it's going to be interesting because Echo she doesn't talk. She's deaf, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how they use this platform. And I get what they're doing. I respect it, but like, we can't just go through a 40 to 60 minute episode with just hand signals. Like, I don't think that it would be a hit. Nothing against it, right? But I just don't see it. So are we going to get like a different side of Echo, or is the Echo show going to be more of like the cameos and other people? Like, what's going to happen here? Because I'm kind of scared with this book, because I really do think that this one, as much as we're sleeping on it now, I think this one could be hit the hardest if the show's not a success.
I agree on that. It's going to be, she definitely has to have a sidekick. And unfortunately that's a problem because Echo really doesn't. But, you know, obviously they're talking Charlie Cox is going to be in it, and Kingpin's going to be in it. So yeah, I think what's going to happen is, everybody loves 9 because it's their first appearance, but people are going to get priced out of 9 and 10, and then they're going to go for 11 because some people just like to see the label, right?
Yeah,
first appearance of this character. You know, I typically like to see that on books, even though they don't put it on specific books. But you know, it's like Carnage. Like, everybody's all about 361, but no one likes Cletus Cassidy's first appearance.
Right.
Everybody likes nobody likes Carol Danvers' first appearance in like Marvel superheroes, but they want Miss Marvel 1.
Quasar, same thing, right? Marvel Boy and Quasar. Yeah.
It's weird. So it's, you know, obviously the market dictates these books, but yeah, like you said, it's on the label. People are definitely sleeping on it. If you get priced out of 9 and 10, you know, grab an 11. It's still early Echo. Still first appearance of her in the costume. Yeah. Or first full appearance of her in the costume, because she's like cameo in 10, like last page.
Yeah. So, 10 is cover, right? Like, that's what people get it for. Yeah. Hype, what do you think, man? I've never really asked you if you even liked Echo. I'm not even 100% sure that you. I think you have.
We literally talked about this. How I picked. Yeah, I picked.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you picked up 1 to 25. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up actually issue 1 to 25 of this run at the Montreal Comic Con for $125 Canadian. So,
which is a steal, because raw you could sell 9 for like 200.
And I made this joke how, because the guy had it in a set, people may have saw issue 1 on the front and maybe they didn't realize the issues in between. So, because I was surprised that no one grabbed it before I did. So yeah. But honestly, this is a classic case of out of sight, out of mind. Like, this book, along with the other Echo keys, have really dropped since you know, the Hawkeye series kind of finished a few months ago. So it definitely has some upside, because my theory is, look, if a book got hot at one point, there's no reason why it can't get hot again. Now, the thing is, I know that you mentioned that CGC kind of acknowledged 11 as her first appearance. Yep. Whether that takes over 9, I doubt it, because it's one of those situations where, like Justin pointed out, how like there's certain cases where the market dictates a certain book, and it's almost like comic politics. If people already have certain money invested in a particular issue, it's going to be hard for another issue to kind of overtake that. So if you're banking on the fact that 11 is going to basically be the Echo book, I don't know about that. I mean, the only benefit is that it is underpriced compared to 9 and 10, so that's one thing going for it. But honestly, I would be a player for any of the books, 9, 10, or 11 at the right price, because they have all three of them have dropped, significantly since the show Hawkeye stopped.
And I think the ones that are also kind of like a dark horse for this one is 52 and 53, her origin. And her origin continued, where basically Kingpin kills her family, which is what we saw in the comics. So I don't know if I'm maybe spoiling it for somebody if they had it like, oh, I'm going to read it tomorrow. But if you read the end of this run, you might be able to pick up on a few things that they might do in the show. Just saying. Also,
newbie, just to your point on that, I would actually grab the 5-issue set of that origin, because I've seen those sets sell on eBay for a good price. Like
that white cover, I think it's 53 or 50. Yeah,
I think it's 51.
51?
I think 51 or 52 starts
51.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, with the hand, with the white. I remember picking up like 10 of those for like nothing, and I was able to sell them for like $25. It was crazy. And then there's the Wolverine one, which is like 54. It looks like Wolverine, I think. It's like
54,
blue. Yeah.
But if you could find the 5-issue set, people would actually pay a bit more for that.
It's true. You know what some people are a little hesitant on is Avengers 144. So first appearance of Hellcat. If you're a Dodge fan, no, we're not talking about the Hellcat Dodge Charger. We're talking about Hellcat, the chick in the yellow tights that basically can just do anything and never die. Possible she's in She-Hulk. Some people are saying yay. Some people are saying nay. Possible Young Avenger. Who knows? Depends on where they go. Possible hookup with Kate Bishop. Now, relax, you sickos. Not that kind of hookup. I mean, the fact that in the Kate Bishop show, first episode, first time we see Kate, guess what? She's on her phone. And who is it? It's Greer. I feel like people have really slept on this one, because even during the show, I had brought that up and they're like, that could be anything or that, whatever. But like all three of us on this panel, everybody in the chat, watching on the rewind, whatever. We know how it is, man. They don't just put shit just to put shit. Like everything is connected in some way. I really like this book. The only problem is in any auction that I go and pick it up, it just seems like it's overpriced. It's really overpriced, and I don't get it, because it's a possible character and a key that we're sleeping on, and it makes sense that she's going to come back at some point or at all, right? Because we didn't really get her. But what are your thoughts on this book, Justin? Because this one is kind of always like you're either on you hate it or you love it.
Yeah, I think you need to stop trying to make Hellcat a thing. There's no way. I'm sorry. There's just I can't say there's no way for like every Marvel character, because like you said, they throw something in there, I think, just to kind of tease the fans, and eventually it'll happen. But I don't think Hellcat's around for a while.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's like you said, it'll be in like a Disney Plus show. But She-Hulk, I think with what we've already seen in the preview for She-Hulk, I think there's going to be enough that they're not going to squish in everything that people are specking on.
Yeah. Hype, what are your thoughts on Hellcat?
I mean, technically, we did kind of see Hellcat in the last season of Jessica Jones, right? So, I mean, she wasn't in costume or anything, but I mean, that's just Netflix take on a lot of those serious characters. They're not going to put them in tights. Now, whether she transitions into the MCU, that, I mean, I don't know. It's I'm not going to say it's like the same.
Okay, hold on. Before you guys say this is crazy, just remember, we're getting fucking Frogman, okay?
So that's why I said anything.
I'm just saying. I'm just
but here's the thing. Frogman, do you really see much of a ceiling, like a high ceiling for that character? I feel that's just a character that's going to be a one-off. There's been a lot of characters that have passed through the MCU that basically they just get a minor blip on their in their respective books, and then they come back down to their normal prices. So I'm not saying this is the same case, because it is an early Avengers run, a 25 center. So it has that going for it. But honestly, it's just one of those characters. There's just not enough. What do you call it? Uh, confirmation or anything of that sort to make me a believer in this book
All
on
right.
the MCU side. If you're a fan of the character, that's one thing. But if you're kind of banking on this being like someone being inserted into the MCU as a player, it's a toss up, really.
Listen, I've seen as many Hellcat fans as I've seen Wonder Man fans. That's zero.
So few and far between, yeah.
Few farms.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Hyper.
Yeah.
I think unless you're really just a fan of the Avengers and you're trying to collect all the first appearance of characters who have been on the Avengers team or something like that, like that's the only way you would really want to go out and buy this book. Like same thing with like X-Men characters. Everybody, if you want like high grade X-Men first appearance characters, you'd go out and buy it. But is she in anything currently in the MC?
Yeah, she's actually in the Iron Man one, like right now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because she was on that really nice variant.
Yeah,
that was a while back.
Yeah. It's actually TKO was saying interesting storyline with Iron Man and Hellcat. Yeah, big shout outs to Discovery Bay. Your brother on the Lords of the Long Box there. Good evening, my comic book cousins. What's going on, man? How you doing? Always get mixed up and thought Hellcat turns into Tigra. Two different characters. Correct. A lot of people do that because a lot of people go into that Tigra or Tiger, the cat. Sorry.
Wait, because there's two different Hellcats, right?
Yeah.
There's Patsy Walker and then the Greer character.
Greer.
Right?
Yeah. I'm just saying it's got to be something. Got to be something. All right, Hype. I know when it gets to you, you're probably going to talk about this book. Last book on our list. But Hype, we were talking about this book backstage just before the trailer dropped for this book. And I remember bringing up an 8.0 and it was like $650 Canadian. And we were both like, oh man, it seems like a little steep. Like we haven't seen the character, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Only for us to wake up the next day and the trailer be dropped. And that book literally just triple in price. An 8.0 was like, I think like $1,800, $1,900. So it just blew up. His character's coming back. He signed on. He's got the 10 rings. It's clear he's connected now with Captain Marvel, Hulk, Captain Marvel, Hulk, Wong, Doctor Strange. Like all these characters know that he's there. Easter eggs of the Savage Lands, just all this stuff. He's, kind of popular up here in Canada because of Kim's Convenience as well. He is a big name actor up here. He is going to come back. This book has dropped dramatically. I mean, current 8.5s, 1K, but I mean, that's nothing because an 8.5 was literally selling for almost double that. Current raw price, it's just anywhere, but future Avenger, it's clear that he's probably going to be on this team. Justin, what are your thoughts, man? Is this a buy? Because the same way I have Avengers 48 is the same way I have this one.
Yeah, this book blew up in 2021, and it goes back to my statement of Avengers, right? Avengers, the first Black Knight. People had money. They thought like this was the starting of the next MCU phase. It was going to be big. Like I think 9.8 hit like 50,000. I think that was a high sale, and then 9.6s were, a few thousand. I remember TiVo talking about this for years. Being on Lords of the Long Box, and I'm just like, I would see it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't really care. Like I don't think this character. Right? And again, that was my problem. So. As this book got out of reach, I ended up finding Marvel Special Edition 16, his second appearance for good money, and then I would just slab it and sell that one because again, people are priced at a 15. Go ahead and grab a 16. I think again, market correction needed to fix itself. I don't think this book is going to be crazy, but yeah, like you said, there's going to be tons of upcoming stuff with him. We've already seen him, obviously within the Marvel MCU. That post-credit scene really sets him up into the Avengers. I think he'll be around for a while. He's a younger actor, so sure, he'll be in for at least 2 to 3 movies. As far as pricing, man, I don't know. Like you said, a 6.0 to go from a few hundred to over 1K. Dude, I was in the same boat. 9.6s were between 1 and 2K here in the US, and I slept on it. And I was just like, nah, no. Boom. It was wild.
Yeah.
For this book to go nuclear, like literally nuclear for 2021.
Yeah. I mean, this is a book, honestly, I think we can all, make the statement that the MCU definitely stoked the fire on this book, because this was an issue that for the longest time I would see at shows and conventions. It seemed like almost every dealer had them at like raw price. Like I bought one actually during the first wave of COVID, like in 2020. I bought like a raw that was like in a 7.0 range for like $300. So, you know, and yeah, since the trailer, like Newbie mentioned, the book has kind of shot up in value. It has kind of tapered off a bit. But honestly, you kind of have to look at the upside on this book, because Simu Liu, the actor, has signed on for multiple films with the MCU, and Marvel is trying to penetrate into the whole international market. So they want to position themselves to have characters like Shang-Chi and what's her name, Echo, like basically to break into different ethnic backgrounds. So
Yeah.
he is right now like the current flagship Asian character in the MCU. And there's been talks about Agents of Atlas and all those other stuff coming. I don't know, that might be a bit more down the line.
I feel like that kind of went up with this one though, because
Exactly.
everybody was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's Asian. This did good, so those got to be like at the same height, right? So
Yeah, and that's the natural effect of certain books. Like when, like Justin mentioned, when certain books get priced out, other books kind of, it's like the rising water kind of lifts a lot of ships, right? So if you bought this book and you're kind of down on the fact that the price has gone down, I still think that another wave is coming for this book, because all it takes is for the character to be front and center again, and for people to remember. Another wave is coming for this book. So yeah, I still have a lot of faith in this book. And the thing is, I know that, side note, like I know a lot of people are saying that it was like one of their greatest Marvel movies in recent. I don't know if I'd put it in that same in that vein. I liked it, but honestly, I don't know. I might get stones thrown at me for this. I thought the supporting characters were better than the actual main character. I thought he was a bit too deadpan for my liking.
I like the dad. I thought the dad was like really well played, and like he was a good actor, and like how he played that evil role. I thought it was dope.
Yeah, and I found that Ben Kingsley and Aquafina kind of stole certain scenes from Simu Liu. So
I just didn't like me personally, and I've been on record to say this, like it was different. So again, we didn't know what was going to happen, right? International market, martial arts, we hadn't seen that.
Nothing.
And don't tell me Iron Fist, please. Don't tell me Iron Fist, right? I thought they had a good product throughout the whole movie. I just hated the fact when you got to the end, he fought that like ugly ass dragon from that other world. Like they should have literally just made it like father versus son, like how it was going. They should have done it that way, more epic, and then that's it. Not, oh, the dad dies because of this freaking dragon, and then he's gonna go fight the dragon. Like I just thought that was kind of dumb.
Well, since you're bringing up that battle, how many pissed off people are there that bought that Death Dealer first appearance?
Not
or
me.
Fing Fang Foom.
Yeah, or Fing. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little crazy. Yeah, everything and anything Asian went up in value. That Agents of Atlas was literally like a $350 Canadian 9.8. Now it's back down to like maybe 150. Like you can find them for 150. So even that's taken a back seat. So
there's another book also that kind of got up that doesn't get much play, but what is it? Totally Awesome Hulk number 15, the first appearance of the Protectors, which was Kamala Khan, Shang-Chi, Silk.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good book. Yeah. It's, and people, what it is too with the Agents of Atlas. I don't know why. I get it why everyone's specking on the War of Realms one because of all the first appearances, but that's not really the first appearance of Agents of Atlas. Just that's that team.
Right.
You can literally pick up just Agents of Atlas number 1 in probably like dollar bins. Like that's a great spec book without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I don't know why people aren't getting that, because as soon as they say, "Oh, Agents of Atlas team," it's still the same thing. It's the first appearance of that team. It's not gonna. I really don't think they're gonna go with like Wave and the rest of them. Like,
wait,
who do you think they're gonna go with?
Justin, quick question.
Go ahead.
The first iteration of Agents of Atlas, was Shang-Chi part of that team? Because I'm not too familiar with the first wave.
I know Jimmy. I know the cover. Jimmy Woo's right on the cover. He could be. I can't recall. I never read the series, but I have a few copies because anytime I find it, I'm like, it's something that's easy to find. Between
Mhm.
that and even Sword #1, like the
Yeah.
first series of Sword, why not? Like it's an easy jump in play. If it's $4
Yeah.
or $5, like they announced Sword, obviously they literally said it. I'll put I'll put $5 on it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I have question marks around, and I have one. I don't know where. Yeah, it's right there. I have the Agents of Atlas in 9.8. That one in Champions. I'm kind of, as much as I was like in love with them, and I found so many copies early on in my hunting days for nothing, and I was able to slab them and flip them or whatever. Like, got my last 2 copies, but like I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like I keep having the flashback of New Avengers 7. And I knew that was gonna happen. I knew
Oh, yeah.
I knew that was gonna happen. And that's why I'm kind of hesitant when people just go crazy for Thunderbolts. And I get why people are going crazy for Thunderbolts. We're gonna
Mhm.
get them. I just don't think that Hulk 49 book is gonna hold weight. I really think it's gonna be more of the individual pieces. But when it comes to these teams, and like you said, Justin, like you don't think it's going to be that team. I kind of had some question marks of like if it's going to be that team, and it kind of makes me wonder like maybe I should sell it at a height because yeah,
It's good for the future, but it's like, how long are you going to hold on to specific books? Like,
exactly.
I believe me, I'm in the same boat. Like, I have books that I'm totally hanging on to. Obviously on the Star Wars side, but I mean, I'm into them for nothing. I've been holding on to them for a
Yeah,
good point, and they're going to pay off within the next year. But like Marvel books, when Swordmaster, Crescent, IO, Waves, yeah, when are we going to see these characters? Like
yeah.
realistically, Arrow, like 10 years down the line, there's going to be there's so many more Marvel characters that need to be brought front and center before them. I'm sorry. It's
Oh, 100%. Especially if everybody is like, we need to see Black Spider-Man, like Black Suit Spider-Man and Miles Morales and Secret Wars. It's like, you think that's going to be like back-to-back years? Like that's literally going to take like 15 to 20 years just to build. Like people don't remember that it's not like it's just we'll get 4 or 5 movies a year. We'll be fine. It's like
And the thing is, it's funny that you brought up Thunderbolts because it kind of shows almost the inconsistency in the market. Because Justin, you brought up how that actual first appearance of Agents of Atlas is almost like dollar bin, fines,
Mhm.
and the new iteration is where the market kind of is putting the money on. Whereas in Thunderbolts, if you look at the pieces in play, it almost feels like the new Thunderbolts team is actually what the MC might be going with, like with Yelena,
yeah.
Mhm.
Winter Soldier. Whereas the original Thunderbolts team, I mean, I think the only player in that was Zemo. Really, there isn't really that many characters from the original iteration that actually I don't think will actually appear in the MCU. So it's a bit inconsistent. Sometimes people go for the first version of a team, and other times they'll just go for the more recent, the more modern
Yeah, it's like
incarnation.
DC and Suicide Squad. I mean, James Gunn literally put that team together. They could just be supporting characters like
Yeah.
Ratcatcher, King Shark. Like no one's really banking on those. Like with Thunderbolt, you have like random characters like Jinx is in there and some
Mhm.
teams and
Polka Dot
like,
Man.
yeah, like yeah, there's just like weird characters that could just show up that don't need to be front and center on the constant actor or actress, whoever's playing them. They're just on the team to be on the team to fill the hole. I don't know. I like the Yelena team without a doubt, but
Yeah.
we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's the show. I thank you so much for coming up to the major leagues to hop on Rocksteady's channel. I really do appreciate it. He would be proud that you guys stuck it out. But as always, good things have to come to an end. Some of us have a bedtime. But Justin, thank you so much for hopping on, dude. I will be seeing you in 1 week. We'll probably be obviously we talk every day, but we'll be talking. I'm sure we'll be, talk. I'll be like, dude, I'm leaving right now. Dude, I just got in the States. Dude, I'm on, the state line. Dude, I'm, so it's gonna be a good time. But dude, let the people know, man. Where can they find you? What's going on? Because you got a lot going on, and I want everybody to know what the hell's going on in your world.
Yeah, man. Well, glad I could be on your 199 and 200 show.
Yeah.
That was awesome. First of all, of course, Tuesday nights. Unfortunately, I wasn't on Lords tonight. I had a work event, and I literally just got home, and Lords was already started. So I figured, whatever, couldn't make it. I told those guys, Lords of Long Box on Tuesdays. Of course, Friday morning, the Comic-Con podcast, new episodes drop right here, right there, the Comic-Con podcast.
Yep.
Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Anchor FM, Amazon Music. Of course, you could always find me, Nemesis_Prime on Instagram and whatnot. This weekend, I am blowing through my inventory. I have like 4 whatnot shows prepared, 4 days, probably more to be added because I took off all next week. I just need to get through as much inventory and make as much money for this road to Terrificon. So yeah, start booking, marking my shows. I got Star Wars stuff. I got Marvel. I got indie. I got slabs. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's crazy, man. Crazy. You do a great job. I actually just got because I won a prize actually.
Yeah.
And I did not win it just because we're friends. I actually truly won it. But yeah, I just got it, man. And you know, you do such a great job with the books, the shows, everything. So you deserve all success you get, man. And hopefully you sell all that stuff. Because it from what you're telling me, it's gonna be an expensive week. So
I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Hype, man. I know you're not going to Terrificon, but you're going to be there in spirit, I guess. Let the people know, man. Where are you and where are you going?
All right. Well, yeah. First off, yeah, definitely super jealous that you guys are all going to be congregating in Terrificon, maybe next year. But yeah, in terms of what I have going on, you know, I'm on IG at the handle that you see below you, hyper.combo.comics. I'm also on YouTube with my fellow comrades, the Comic Kingpins. We go on at 7 p.m. on Mondays, and our bi-weekly show, which is our hall show, is on Thursdays at 9:30. And we also do our FOC picks on the weekends as well. So those are our 3 main fixtures on our show. And like Justin, I'm also on Whatnot, and I recently got reinstated. So not because of bad conduct, but because not because of bad conduct, just because of some geographical issues. So yeah, I because I haven't been able to host a show for 2 weeks, I also have a bit of some backlog that I kind of need to clear up on my end. So probably sometime next week I'll post the time once I know for sure.
Sounds good. I will try to do one more Whatnot show, but I'm just having too much success on eBay and Facebook Market. So, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, can't wait. Chat, you guys were great. Super chat from Tony H. Keep up the good content. Keep up the content. I added good, better adjective. But thank you so much for that, man. Any last words, gentlemen, before we take off?
Nope.
All right. This was show 200. Don't get confused. Thanks to Justin for keeping us, you know, the numbers correct. I'll ask him in like 6 weeks if you know what number we're at, but I appreciate it. Enjoy New Comic Book Day tomorrow, and there's no show to ruin, so
yeah,
enjoy Wednesday. Later,
guys.